I think this is a really good moment to insert this.
Okay.
We got a really, really funny email about International Guys Day. You guys are going to love this. The heading of this is Guy Fieri should be Grand Marshal of International
Yeah.
Guy Fieri should be Grand Marshal of International Guys Day. Here we go, dude. Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me,
Yeah.
which of course you were.
Oh,
But-
yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis Ellis, joined as ever by my intrepid explorer partner of a friend, Giulio Gallerati. Good to have you home. Boots on the ground. America, baby.
America, let's fucking go.
That's
Dude,
it.
you, my friend, have become the big traveler of the two. The guy's fucking turning over stones all over the city to try to find a yellow fever jab.
That's it. Struggling. Got absolutely rat fucked by it. Let me tell you how frustrating yesterday was in terms of trying to get vaccinated for our upcoming honeymoon to Africa.
Well, fortunately, you have time.
I do, but I also don't.
It would be nice to just get it out of the way.
I don't have a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of time in my day. So
what is your full mandatory preparation? What stuff do you need to get that you don't already have? Was there stuff where you're like, do I have this? And then you're like, yes, I do.
to be honest, I don't know if there is any medical history of Francis Ellis anywhere in the world.
I've been trying to track mine down recently.
I
too.
don't know if some the last doctor who had my record of chickenpox vaccines or whatever, if that guy just died and his whole place burned down.
Right.
Or he had it on some kind of hard drive next to, insider trading documents. So he told his secretary, smash it all. Right, as the FBI was raiding them. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what I've got.
Your parents probably have your like childhood stuff.
Maybe they do. Point is, I went in. I had called my primary care physician, who, by the way, is barely my primary care physician.
He's like your New York guy.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him since 2018.
You don't go to get a physical?
No, I'm pretty negligent about my regular checkups. I'm a guy who goes to the doctor when things are really wrong.
No, dude, I think you're arrogant about them. You're like, I'm in such good shape. I can't possibly need a physical.
That's not really it. I mean, let's say that it's that probably to a lesser degree, where it's I don't have a lot of unhealthy habits and I eat pretty well.
Right. You have to be fine.
Kind of assume that things are probably in working order.
I think that's reasonable.
Well, that's hubris though.
Perhaps, yeah.
Because eating well, you can still get,
or maybe you have some sort of
all kinds of bad stuff, even
some
if you're
inherited
traits. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm sure you're fine.
Well, I hit him up, and frankly, I was surprised to find that he was still employed and still in medicine. It's been that long, and I wrote him a note on the online health portal.
Oh God, is there anything? Can we please get like real app designers to design doctors' office portals, please? Like how pathetic those fucking things are.
Pathetic.
It's like a high school computer project.
Yes, it's the portal upon which you receive your SAT scores. It's fucking bullshit, man. It's Web
dude.
1.
Garbage.
Yeah. You're logging in through MS-DOS.
It's bad.
So I went in there, I wrote him a letter, wrote him a note, bullshit. Told him I need to get a bunch of labs done and then also need to get vaccinations. And they referred me to their travel health subsidiary.
Oh, fun.
And said that they had a location in Union Square, so I wouldn't have to go all the way up to the Upper East Side to get these things. I called them, I set up the appointment, and I specifically said, I was very specific. Very.
In
I
what
said,
regard?
do you have everything I'm going to need? I said, do I need to tell you where I'm going? Do we need to do some research? Do we need to figure this out? Do we need to order everything? I'm coming. I don't want to go somewhere else. And they said, The doctor determines that when you get here, we have everything. And they were a little annoyed that I had asked them.
There's nothing worse than that when they end up being wrong. They shame you, and then you're afraid to ask questions, and then they end up being wrong.
Yeah, they were like, they kind of said like, cool your jets, Karen.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we got it.
You're going to be okay, Karen.
We got a cooler in the back filled with syringes for every country in the world. Trust us. So sure enough, I go in, right? Not easy to find in this building.
Third floor.
Second floor, but it was room 2HJ, and I was like,
Okay.
I'll take 2 of those. And
I'll take 2, please.
Yeah. And which meant that it was some kind of combination of room 2H and room 2J, and I didn't know which one to go. Anyway, went by this guy playing the piano weirdly. It was very eerie and spooky.
Classic. That's like the most classic New York going to find the subsidiary of your PCP experience.
Yeah.
Just to find out they don't take your insurance, and no one actually does. Turns out no one takes your insurance.
No one has taken insurance, period, since 1985. So I go in, I say, okay, yep, great. Go to the back, get my vitals taken. And by the way, when I get my blood pressure taken now, I really want it to be good. And so I start breathing meditatively.
I do that too.
I do in through the nose, hold for 4, out for the nose for the 2 minutes leading up. And I kind of close my eyes. And because I want it to be good. And I really think I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous that I'm in a doctor's appointment. I'm not nervous that that this woman's going to judge me if my blood pressure's high. And in a way, having those thoughts probably makes it worse.
I always think about this too, yeah.
You know?
I tend to have good blood pressure, thankfully, knock on wood. But
yeah. So she takes it, and I think she said it was like 216/80. It was really good.
216 is extremely high.
Then it can't be that. Maybe it was 160 over.
Maybe it was like 126.
She was pleased.
Okay.
Which made me pleased.
Great.
I nailed it. Passed with flying colors.
Well done.
She leaves. Doctor comes in. This guy is old. He's older than time. He's old to the degree that he says, let's check it. Let's look at your file. And he goes and sits at the computer and looks at it.
The bottom of the bifocals?
Yeah. Stares down the barrel of his glasses at a tilt, at a preposterous angle. And then chicken pecks the keyboard, one finger, searching for keys. Clearly not a typer. God forbid. God help the person that had to teach him how to text.
Dude, I love that image. It's just fucking praying mantising the keyboard. Fucking boom, boom, boom.
So you have 2 thoughts. Well, the first is, well, this is not confidence inspiring that someone with such a poor grasp on technology is about to determine which zones I'm going to be in and where I'm going to need, what vaccines I'm going to need. But then
he's referring to countries that don't even exist.
Yeah.
Rhodesia?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, back when I remember when that was part of the Ottoman Empire. It's like, really? Dr. Yankovic?
Oh, Zaire.
Yeah. So, yeah. So but then at the other hand, you have some confidence because you're like, well, this guy's been doing this for such a long time.
He's still practicing.
So he asks me for my medical history and looks at some of my notes. And, typically I'm like, why do we even need to get into that? I've had some orthopedic surgeries. Like, does that have any bearing on where we're going here? Do you really care about the elbow surgery that I had? But for the first time ever, it did matter. Because as he was determining which anti-malaria pill to prescribe me, he said that one had a certain side effect that affects people that had a history of something that I had. And he was like, I don't want to cause that to flare up.
Wow.
So I'm not going to give you that one. And I was like, unbelievable. for the first time ever,
Oh, wow.
my medical history was pertinent to the diagnosis.
This guy's a second half player, dude.
Yeah.
He started slow.
Oh, but he's headed south. he's headed for a downfall. So, he's taking forever, and it's moving so slowly. And I'm like, I have a really busy day.
I got
yesterday.
shit to do, bro.
Got a really busy day.
I got shit to do.
He says we're gonna give you typhoid.
Nice.
We're gonna give you hepatitis A, which we couldn't figure out if
you
I
have it
had already or not.
So it doesn't matter if you had.
I asked that,
Cool.
and he said no, it doesn't.
Pretty sure
matter.
I have it, but I also don't remember.
If you get 2, you should be set for life.
Okay, I believe I have that. I need to check. Anyway.
Hep A, typhoid, and then he said, and I'm looking at the region here for yellow fever, and I can't determine if where exactly are you going? And by the way, let's back up a step. Old Giulio Gallerati, old Encyclopedia Brown over here, our world traveler, our CDC expert, had told me with complete conviction, bro, you don't need the yellow fever vaccine.
Okay, can we also back up a second?
You don't need it.
To the point where Francis said, I need a yellow fever vaccine for Rwanda. We weren't talking about Kenya. And it turns out you, in fact, do not need one for Rwanda. Am I correct about that?
I think you don't need it for where we were going in Rwanda, but there are parts of Rwanda that you do need it for. If you're going to high elevation areas, which is where we are going with the gorillas, you don't need it because the mosquitoes aren't they don't carry it for some reason at higher elevations. Or maybe the mosquitoes
we should check this. To my knowledge, yellow fever vaccine is not recommended for Rwanda. Whatever, but fine. I was still under the impression that you were getting it because of Rwanda. We had not discussed Kenya yet, so I knew that this was going to come up today.
So, generally not recommended. Now, for the record, people listening at home, if you are actually following our podcast for vaccine advice, I would encourage you not to do so. We will clarify probably some of this with little facts with Ryan. Are they lying, or will you be dying? Later at the end of the podcast. However, something like it looks like 70% of the country of Kenya is in the yellow zone for yellow fever, which means you should get it. And yellow fever, the doctor listed the order of importance for the vaccines. He said, number 1, malaria.
But there's no vaccine.
There's no vaccine, but you take
the
pills with you start a day before you get there to the zone, and then you take them for a week after you've left it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said you gotta do malaria, and then number 2 is yellow fever, and he said yellow fever has a mortality rate of 30 to 50%.
That's crazy.
30 to 50%. So it's important.
Yeah, it's important. Okay, but hold on. So I had read, and this is not disagreeing with you. This is an additional fact that will hopefully make you feel better. But I had heard that 20 to 50% of people who have severe cases. It's unclear if everybody I don't know what the deal is with that. But whatever. If you get a severe case, you don't want a coin flip that you're going to die. I agree.
That's yellow fever?
Yes, but agreed, you should get it. I would get it too. I'm not saying you shouldn't get it.
20 to 50% of the time you die. 30 to 50% of the time.
Sorry.
No, I don't. I just made that up.
No. I
have no idea if that's trying to play on that Anchorman.
No. 20, 50, 30 to 50, whatever I just said.
I don't know why you're not laughing.
I mean the same thing as you. Oh, I'm not familiar enough with the movie.
Are you kidding?
I'm serious.
You're not familiar enough with Anchorman?
No, I've watched it like twice.
They say 60% of the time it works every time. You've never heard that quote?
No, I don't. I'm not. It doesn't resonate. It was a great movie. I loved it.
That's cool. That's cool of you.
I might just be too old.
No, that's cool that you are that doesn't resonate. That movie was beaten into our brains by the cool kids first. And then the losers following on a wave that had already passed, re-quoting. Even by the time that I got to college, which was a couple of years after it had come out, maybe even maybe even 4 years after it had come out. Maybe even longer than 4 years after it had 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got to college in 2000, I think 7 or 8. And it's like, people were still quoting it to death. And I was like, dude, move on. We've had Step Brothers since then. We've had, Old School, I think, came out after Anchorman. We've had so many other movies that you could
Step Brothers is post Anchorman.
Certainly.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
When is Old School?
Probably. Okay.
Old School's 2003, Step Brothers 2008, Anchorman 2004.
There were plenty of great comedies that had usurped, or not usurped, but were closer to the front of the mind and this national consciousness than Anchorman by that point.
Right.
And we were all done with quoting Anchorman. And yet losers held to it because they didn't know any better. They thought, this is my safe space. You can't go wrong with an Anchorman quote. Smells like Bigfoot's dick. It's like, even hearing that now, I cringe.
You're right. It was a good movie for sure.
Unbelievable movie.
So funny.
It just, some people didn't know when to hang it up. So, okay, we are yellow fever, right? The guy says, you got to do it. And he goes, unfortunately, there's a global shortage of the yellow fever vaccine. We don't have it here.
Hate to see it.
And I go, I said this to a doctor. I go, are you serious? And he goes, yeah, I'm sorry. I go, your organization told me specifically that you had everything I would need, and I don't have time to go somewhere else. And by the way, if I sound like an asshole for saying this, get this. Your insurance does not cover vaccines that you get for travel purposes.
Novelty vax?
Yeah. And in addition to the fees for the vaccines, which, I think my typhoid was like 130, and then my hep was like, it ended up being about $500 yesterday, because there's an administration fee of the vaccines of $130. And because I couldn't get them all done yesterday, I now have to go to another clinic tomorrow and pay another $130 administration fee.
So let me ask you this. So I'm surprised Hep A isn't covered.
Hep A might be.
Okay.
That might be the only one. They said that might be covered. That might be the only one that's covered by insurance.
Got it.
But all the rest, malaria, typhoid. By the way, they do have a dengue vaccine.
I've had dengue before.
You've had it?
Yeah.
Bad?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
What is it? What are the symptoms?
I'm not sure specifically, but I had like really high fever, like just like really pretty bad flu-like symptoms for like 4 days.
Where'd you get it?
St. Barth's.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, they have a vaccine, but they don't give it to travelers. They only give it to children in areas where it's endemic.
Got it.
Seemed a little unfair to me. So I'm gonna have to trade some kid over there a pack of baseball cards with his dengue vaccine.
Dengue vax. It's always, but you bring up a good point though, dude. Like you'll see this like list that's like a lot of the time too comprehensive. And then you go to the doctor and you're like, all right, what's the deal? Which of these do I really need?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be like, you don't need that one. You don't need that one. You do need that one, type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's always an interesting thing to me to hear what the outcome of that conversation is.
He said, I'm going to prescribe you, I think it was a azithromycin for
the Z-Pack?
Yeah, for if you get traveler's diarrhea.
Wow.
And he said you take one pill when the symptoms hit, as well as an Imodium, and you should be good by the next day.
I'm writing that down right now. I've been searching for solutions to this.
These are all, sort of just preventative ideas so that we don't ruin our honeymoon
Z-Pack
by
plus
dumping water all over each other from our butts.
Z-Pack plus Imodium.
I don't want to be leaking.
I heard leaky boy.
Leaking. I don't want to have to, when we're trekking into the grills, I don't have to peel off behind a grove of bamboo trees to squat and squirt, I feel like that's probably against the guidelines.
Dude, getting sick on vacation, especially such a high stakes vacation like a honeymoon.
Yeah, exactly.
It just sucks. And like I've been asking around the past 2 weeks for recommendations for prevention. This is the best one I've ever heard. It sounds like someone else was like, if you just kind of take Pepto preventatively, that can help. But this sounds like a more intense and good plan.
It did sound pretty good. So whatever. He did that, and I don't know. In a way, I guess I was glad to have. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these other clinics that you go to, I don't know if they have doctors who would be doing that kind of stuff. You can go to
Like a
these
primary
passport
care?
health,
Oh, right.
yeah, primary care places, and I'm going to some weird clinic tomorrow that specifically does travel vaccines. I don't know if there's a doctor there
Can you let me know
for
how it
yellow
goes?
fever. Yeah,
That's
but I'm
cool.
gonna go get the yellow fever, pay the additional. I mean, dude, it's gonna be like, I will have paid like I think $700 for all this shit.
Jesus.
It's fucking nuts, dude. But you're like, okay, what's the alternative? Roll the dice on malaria, on yellow fever? Are you out of your fucking mind? No, you have to do it. You know?
Yeah.
I could see you rolling the dice.
I mean, I don't know, dude. They say East Africa has a pretty like mild malaria compared to Western Africa.
Is that right?
But like,
Would you roll the dice on yellow? If you were going to Kenya, would you roll the dice on yellow fever?
If they were like, where you're going has a shit ton of yellow fever, no. I don't know more than they do.
It's carried by mosquitoes as well. All this stuff, all of it is carried by mosquitoes.
Yeah. So like, yeah, dude. I mean, even I have no problem doing overkill when it comes to this kind of shit, because like, might as well just be careful. Even if people are like, oh, Mr. Malaria pills, or like I took them.
Yeah.
You know, it's no big deal. No side effects.
Yeah. He
Might as
told
well
me
take
to
'em.
take Malarin. He's giving us Malarin as his malaria medicine. It can cause a little bit of stomach pain, but I don't think.
They say you have fucked up dreams too. I don't know. That didn't happen to me.
What?
Speaking of fucked up dreams, I had a dream that Francis met the gorillas and began to Francis. And what that means is when Francis meets a new group, he tries to present a relatable anecdote to the group.
Do I? You seen me do this?
You do this, yeah.
Come on.
You've described yourself doing it, and I've also seen you do it. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just something that you have noticed.
I don't know this. I don't
so
know
you'll
this
be
about
like,
myself.
hey guys, I remember, I'm Francis.
Oh, I did that with Nate Diaz.
You did it with Nate
I did
Diaz.
that with Nate Diaz. Yeah, I did.
I remember. Why don't we arm wrestle? I know you're gonna win, but it will be fun. I happen to be my final club arm wrestling champion. Funny story. Back in 2006, it was me versus Maximilian von Bertrand III.
Theodore Cumberbatch.
He had a big bicep,
Forsheimer.
but he couldn't take me down. But I just figured, a gorilla of your size. Anyway.
Yeah. Man, if I could arm wrestle the gorillas, I'd like that. I'd like that. All right. So went through this, did all this, and I still have to go get the yellow fever tomorrow, which really sucks. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna do it. Just accept it.
Bro, it's there's you can do this in a way that will make you less annoyed about it.
Is there any route, before we get into that, is there any route for me to call the hospital and the company, my primary care people who just had their information wrong and therefore are costing me an additional $130, and just say, you guys fucked this up. You led me down the wrong path. I do not want to pay this.
I don't think so, because still it was up to you to sort of like ask the questions. And even though you were misled.
But that would have required me, after I learned it in the doctor's office, being like, all right, fuck that. I'm leaving right now. Don't give me anything.
Listen, I know you were put in a bad position. I would have had the exact same outcome as you for sure. Most people would have. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one.
So you do take the ones you get there, and then you just go back and find the yellow fever.
I probably wouldn't have thought to be like, ooh, I'd like to avoid this administration fee, because I've never encountered that before.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know to
exactly,
look for that.
Exactly. Everyone's making that. I think everyone's making that.
Which is the shitty thing about these kind of situations. You typically don't find yourself in them that many times. So then you learn what to do, and that knowledge becomes sort of not valuable.
Well, exactly. And in a way, there was a silver lining where I could then tell Sierra, who hadn't done it yet, don't go to this place. Go to a place that has all of them. Make sure beforehand, and that's what you need to do. So I saved her the mistake that I had made.
So there's exciting news about the honeymoon. You have made what I believe is a very strong play.
We made a pretty exciting play.
And I wonder, have you yet looked into Had that already happened before the vaccine search began? Or have you looked into what you might need for that?
No, we did. Fortunately, we did know that was a possibility. So I told the doctor, these are the countries we're going to.
Gotcha.
So, when we were originally planning our honeymoon, we were thinking it'd be cool to do some safari and also sort of like a romantic, chill, beachy holiday combo, which a lot of people do. Because there's some amazing islands off the coast of Africa, some amazing beaches, some really luxurious tropical kind of beach type things. Everyone knows about the Seychelles. There's also, Zanzibar, Madagascar, and Mozambique. And we were kind of looking originally to try to add the Seychelles or start in the Seychelles and then come back and do the safari. But it was just so much more expensive that we didn't think we could do it. We just were like, God, it's going to add another fucking whatever, 10,000. I don't even know how much more. More flights, more all this. It's just a lot. So
don't they have there's like a Ritz there that's its own island, right?
Dude, the Seychelles are really sick.
Yeah.
The Ritz, there are two Ritzes in the Seychelles. One is on the main island, and then there's another one that's on another island that you have to take another small flight to.
Yeah. Sick.
But that one looks even better. But there's actually two resorts in the Seychelles that I think I would have wanted to stay at ahead of either of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one is called like And Beyond. And then there's another one that I can't remember exactly, but there's one that has like its own, is on its own island and is truly, that's
sick.
the only place on the island. You're
very sick.
like Prince Harry and not Meghan Markle, Prince William and Kate went there for their honeymoon famously. And I think George Clooney and his wife did too. I don't know.
Love it.
So we had looked at that, but I've since learned that the Seychelles are very kind of international honeymoon traveler, westernized. There's no hint of African culture, any of that stuff, which
besides the big turtles.
Yeah.
The big boys.
There's stuff like that to see, absolutely, but I don't know,
No, but I hear you. It's not like quote original.
Yeah,
I would argue it's still very difficult to get to, and I'm sure it'll be cool. But like, I like your.
But dude, think of this. They have direct flights from like Abu Dhabi, Qatar,
to Seychelles.
Yeah,
Right.
and even just knowing that makes you think like, oh, this is courting a jet-setting wealthy elite.
Mm-hmm.
And do I want to be rubbing shoulders with those people in the infinity
Russians.
pool? Yeah, Russians, of course, exactly, all that stuff. Originally, we had said we can't do it, but some new opportunities rose. A new chapter presented itself with, and we just said, okay, if that's gonna start, we might as well, really live it up a little bit, and we've decided to add 4 nights in Mozambique.
I love it, bro.
Mozambique.
I love it.
Which is kind of southeast Africa. It's right near Madagascar, which is, big island country off the coast.
Yeah. Across the way.
Yeah, and it's relatively easy to get to Mozambique from Johannesburg, importantly. Yes. And so now what we're doing, originally we were going to fly to Kenya from Boston, do our 4 nights in Kenya on safari, and then go back to Kenya main airport in Nairobi, fly over to Kigali in Rwanda, then drive into the gorillas for 3 or 4 nights, then come back to Kigali, fly back to Nairobi, fly back home to America. And now we're doing the same thing, except from when we're done with the gorillas, we're going back to Kigali in Rwanda, flying down to Johannesburg, spending a night in an airport hotel, waking up the next morning, flying to Vilanculos in Mozambique,
Cool.
and then taking a little tiny helicopter ride
Cool.
over to the island of Benguela. or Bengera. I haven't even heard it said yet.
Sick.
And we're gonna stay at a really sick looking spot
Dude, that's fucking sick.
out on that island, and and then we are gonna fly back, and we are gonna. One thing that's a huge advantage to all of this is that there is a direct flight home from Johannesburg
Oh, nice. So you just drive?
to Newark. No, we're gonna fly back to the mainland, fly down to Johannesburg, and then fly home from Johannesburg to Newark.
Same
It's a
airport.
15-hour flight.
Yeah.
Whereas-
same airport from Mozambique to Johannesburg.
Yeah, but that's just like an hour and 20-minute flight. It's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
But like instead of having to go when we were flying back through Kenya, we were gonna go Kenya to Amsterdam, layover,
Correct, yeah.
Amsterdam to. New
Oh, that's
York.
nice. You have the direct.
The direct, and we got pretty good. We sprung for business class. Pelican bed. That's what we like to call it. We call them pelican beds.
Wow.
Because it was not somehow that flight because it's direct was like a lot cheaper because we had nice premium economy seats there
What
and back.
airline? From Johannesburg.
United,
Nice.
bro, and not for nothing.
EWR.
Hmm?
Newark.
Yeah, not for nothing. There, I had the option to, since we know we're not gonna take the return leg home of our round trip Delta flight, which we had originally booked. Right, we're going Boston to Kenya, and then we're going Kenya to New York. But it was a multi-city round trip, one ticket on Delta.
Gotcha.
Originally.
Gotcha.
And so we know we're not taking the return leg.
Mm-hmm.
So one option was to just throw the whole ticket away and then rebook a different flight over and get all that flight credit back on Delta, which I would use.
Sick.
Or take the first leg over and then while we're over there, call Delta and be like, hey, sorry.
We have yellow fever.
Our plans have changed.
We may not make it.
We're not going to come home on that return flight and then get that leg's flight credit.
Nice.
And in thinking about all of this, I found a business class flight on Qatar Airways.
Oh, man.
And I looked up the review
It's the
of
best
their
business class
business
on the planet,
class
right?
seats. It's called Q Suites on Qatar Airways. Bro,
Sick, huh?
oh my God.
I think it's ranked number one.
It's number one.
Yeah.
They have the number one. They have the number one business class.
It's sick, dude.
You have a full-blown like wall that goes up. And if you get the middle seats
Showers,
together,
right?
which you can get, I don't know about, they might have showers.
I think they do.
If you get the middle seats together, your beds are like together and you can sleep with your significant other.
Wow.
Like cuddling, basically. Your two beds like full
you guys
flat
can
together.
consummate the marriage.
Well,
My high club, bro.
it could be.
Dude,
Could be.
the business class on Qatar and like some like those kind of airlines, like I've flown on those airplanes, but like you don't even get to see them when you sit in coach.
Yeah.
You actually there's like multiple ways to enter the plane.
Yeah.
That's so
But we're not doing it.
you're not doing it.
We're not doing it because that would have been way more expensive.
Right. United, I'm sure the United stuff will be great too.
The United's going to be really nice. We are just going to keep our regular premium economy seats over on Delta, which will be fine. We're going to be fine. But God Almighty, once we were like, let's spring for 4 more days of beach. I'm like, should we fucking try to get the Qatar Airways flight too?
While
like,
we're at
are we
dude.
just going for have the floodgates open? This is my problem with spending. Is that once I break the seal, I have no governor. The wound is opened, and I'm like, let it
Hello,
bleed.
governor.
Let it bleed.
Dude, no, it's like road trip syndrome. Like when you're on a road trip and you start driving, you start hitting those big 500-600 mile legs.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly a 600-mile detour feels like nothing, which is wrong. You're incorrect to think that. And it's the same. This is the same as the spending.
That is not at all where I thought you were going with that. I thought you were going to say on road trips, it's like when you stop at a truck stop
You buy all
and
the
you're like,
candy.
well, I need some energy to keep driving. So you're like, well, let's get some Pringles. Okay, well, I'm going to need some treat. I mean, I'm driving, so I
Snickers
don't.
ice cream bar.
How about some Sour Patch watermelons? Yeah, and then something cold to cool it off. And all of a sudden you're walking back to your car with like 7 things in your arms. That's what happens to me.
Dude, that's so funny. Shout out to Heather, by the way, who's Pilates class I took and was telling me that her husband loves strawberry Nesquik as well.
Oh my God. old Johnny boy. I love John.
Old
John,
Johnny boy.
have you met him?
No, I don't
Man,
think so.
he is a top guy.
He's a ringer.
He's a world-class human.
Dude.
Both of them are.
Really quickly. And yeah, she's amazing. So cool. I think this is a really good moment to insert this.
Okay.
We got a really, really funny email about International Guys Day, since Johnny is clearly a candidate.
Yeah, he certainly is. Yeah.
You guys are going to love this. The heading of this is Guy Fieri should be Grand Marshal of International
Yeah.
Guy Fieri should be Grand Marshal of International Guys Day. Here we go, dude.
Then it would almost be an eponymous holiday.
Yeah, it's true.
Eponymous.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Nice, the Francis vocab getting slid in when you least expect.
How about that?
Okay. So this is what he says. Cards on the table. I'm recycling some of this from a job application where I had to type out a 1-minute TED talk on an obscure subject, but the fact remains that Guy Fieri, a literal guy, to your point, should be the guest of honor for the inaugural International Guys Day celebration. Guy Fieri, pronounced Fieti, is a man who does it all. Guy Fieri raised millions of dollars for displaced restaurant workers in the wake of COVID-19. Guy Fieri jumps at every chance to put his friends in the spotlight. A true guy move. Mm-hmm. In between opening restaurants, running a winery, producing and starring in several TV shows, raising money for others, and supporting local businesses, Guy Fieri personally cooks for hundreds of firefighters during California's wildfire season. He's even a strong ally of the LGBTQ plus community, having officiated over 100 or more same-sex marriages at the same time. Oh, okay, so that's why having once officiated over 100 plus same-sex marriages at the same time.
Wow.
In Florida, nonetheless.
That sounds, how is that even possible?
I don't know.
And why would 100 gay couples
get married at the same time?
Want to be in part of such a mass wedding?
I don't know, dude.
Am I not the only one that finds that by Guy Fieri?
I tell you what, it's impressive.
If I'm a gay man, I'm not sure that I want, like, hey, let's do the thing that 99 other gay couples are doing with Guy Fieri. Is he like an icon of the gay community?
News to me.
I wouldn't have known.
On top of that, he's completely comfortable in his own skin. Blonde spiked hair, one dude that could pull it off, and his name is Guy. Oversized Dickies shorts and self-promoting t-shirts, brand recognition, baby. Nepotism is frowned upon these days? Fuck that. Throw Hunter a few episodes of Triple G. Guy embodies the integral qualities we all seek in a true guy. Generosity, camaraderie, and self-awareness. In a country obsessed with divisiveness, Guy Fieri is a beacon of human goodness. Guy is the guy we need. Plus, he has the Hill Dog stamp of approval.
Wow.
Thank you for reading my nomination.
Yeah, pretty good hype, man.
That's pretty fucking good.
Great email there.
That's pretty fucking good.
All right, we'll have to reach out to Guy and see if he'll be the Archduke of International Guys Day. We'll make that happen. We are going to make that happen without a doubt.
Oh boy.
We'll have to figure out what it means, but
back to spending a lot of money. But dude, whatever, man. It's your honeymoon. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I know, but you know, you do reach a point where you're like, nothing matters anymore. And then you take a step back and you say, well, that would still just be another like couple $1,000 that we just, for what?
For memorable life experiences, bro. Joy.
Yeah. And by the way, someone once messaged me and said that the podcast had ceased to be relatable.
Really?
Due to the fact that we often talk about sort of luxurious experiences we've had, credit card stuff, whatever it is. And to that person, I would say, I'm sorry. It's not really our goal to be, relatable to each and every single person, because every person that listens to this podcast is unique. And so we hope that you'll be able to find something that we say that reminds you of yourself or applies to some issue you've had in your own life. But if we say things that are, you find not very in good taste or somehow something you can't relate to, or like, God, why are they complaining about that?
Yeah, sorry that you're not an irresponsible spender like us.
Yeah, this is just who we are, and it's not for everyone. And hit that old fast forward button.
Sorry that you don't spend all of your money all the time. Like
yeah. Sorry that you're responsible. Sorry that you're not willing to, think that credit card miles are worth more than the actual money you have.
Oh, dude, it's your fucking honeymoon, man. You're supposed to go big.
Yes. And so have I told you about this theory I have?
No, you have not.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear what
I have this theory that I think I have said this to you, where somehow knowing that you've spent the most that you can on something makes you enjoy it more.
I don't know about that.
It's not true. I say it tongue in cheek.
Okay.
I know it's bullshit because I get a lot of joy from finding a deal.
Good deal. Right.
But in the events in life where you have spent the most on something, there is that element of, as you're experiencing it, there's nothing more.
Right.
There's nothing more that I could have done to enrich or to richen this experience.
Right.
I paid the most.
Right.
So
pay the cost to be the boss.
That's it.
Put on my Louboutins playing golf.
Yeah. So like
what song, Chris? What song?
The only piece of our honeymoon right now that is in any way less than the most elite, like luxurious version is the flight over to Africa.
Oh, right. Because it's just like normal, right?
It's premium economy. It'll be fine. You have a little footrest.
Premium economy is good. It's solid.
The seat's going to recline a little more than a regular coach seat. Decent legroom, that kind of thing.
Yeah, dude. So it's funny. My pleasure about the spending the most money thing comes from a lot of the time it'll be something that I would have hoped that I could someday do. And I never really thought about the practical side of that. Like, oh, you'll have to pay for that. I would just be like, well, I want to do that one day. And then sitting there and
then you would do it that day?
No. But like there would be times where I was really into yoga at one point in a past life. And I would every weekend, I would go on my computer for hours and I would search for yoga retreats that I could afford. And I would go in this wormhole for hours. I'd be like, oh, maybe I'll go here. Maybe I'll go here. Maybe I'll go here. And then I look at the flights, and what would happen at the end of every single one of those sessions is that I couldn't afford to do it, no matter where I wanted to go. And then it was just like really sad. And I was like, one day I'll do that. And then, I've since sort of fallen out of love with yoga. So I never was able to, actually.
Isn't that something?
The point being, that's just a good example of something that I could not make happen that I could probably make happen now. And there are other versions of that where I'll be sitting there clicking the button to buy it and be like, that's really a nice feeling that I can just do that now.
Totally.
And it's not even like a big deal.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think there's two lessons there. The first is that if anyone can actually have the willpower to wait on a burning desire to do something, you may find that within a couple weeks or months or years, you don't have any interest in doing that thing anymore.
That's true.
And you don't feel FOMO from having not done it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look back and say, God, I wish I had done more of those yoga retreats back when I really cared about yoga?
So I think that if I were to just lose 20 pounds or something, then maybe I would get back into yoga. I'm just too fat to be good at it, essentially. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll just get hurt.
What?
I just don't have room to do it. There's no room for the moves. I don't know how to explain it. My body weight and my ability to do yoga are just completely directly related in this way that has nothing to do with anything else. Assume I live my life the way that I do it. I'm fairly active as far as bouncing around and doing whatever. If I were to be XYZ weight, I can do yoga. If I exceed that, I cannot.
Couldn't you do it just trying a little less hard?
Yes, but it won't be worth it. It'll hurt a lot. The next day, my meniscus.
Yeah, but that's how you get into it,
I
right?
know, but it can be sort of if you're not really careful and really trying so hard to make adjustments in a big class of people, it can become a thing that's degenerative. It can. I've fucked my body up before doing it. I tore my meniscus doing hot yoga.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
thought it was all about injury prevention.
I know.
I've always looked at yoga as like the most healthy thing.
Totally.
you could do.
So for me personally, I'm not in good enough shape to do it. So if one day I were to be, which to be honest, may never happen, and I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably pick it up again.
Got it. Got it.
So no, I'm not bummed out at all. But yoga was nice. And
Well, fair enough. I mean, yeah. Well, I can't remember the second thing you said, but I think it is definitely nice to be able to pick and choose with freedom right now, sort of the luxuries that we allow ourselves.
And even, 100%, or just any sort of like desire. You're like, wow, I hope I can do that. I don't know how on earth that would be possible, but I hope I can do that one day.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to you sitting on your computer planning whatever that thing might be. That's a really nice moment in life.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah.
So anyway, you go have fun on your honeymoon, big
We're
shot.
going to have a great time. I don't think it's necessary to throw the flight away and take the Qsuite. But God, it would be nice. And there's another benefit to it.
I hear the thought.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you the other benefit
of not switching to Qsuite?
Our current flight over there has a 1 hour layover in Paris.
Oh yeah, stress. That's a terrible airport for that short layover too.
Dude, 1 hour. All people are talking about right now is how much of a nightmare travel is.
So Charles de
Missed
Gaulle
flights.
is I've missed flights there. It's like the easiest place to miss a flight maybe on the planet.
So
What?
you're saying
no, he's not doing it.
No, we are.
Oh, sorry.
That's what our flight is. We're going from Boston to Charles de Gaulle, and then we have a 1 hour layover, and then we got to get on a flight immediately over to Kenya, to Nairobi. And if we miss our
A
connection, our whole fucking honeymoon is fucked. The whole first leg of it, which is 4 days of safari in the Masai Mara in Kenya. Because we have there isn't a flight from Paris to Kenya until the next day.
Because I know we had talked about that.
We need to get there so that we can take one of these tiny 4-person prop planes out into the bush. Which, by the way, do not allow you to have hard suitcases.
Interesting.
So we can only pack in soft duffel bags, which won't be that much of a problem for me. But poor Sierra, man.
One of the most unexpected things about Francis.
This is gonna have a tough time with that.
The way Francis travels, I'll never forget you showing up to Logan, or not to Logan, to our flight to Boston, just with an open duffel bag. Like, that couldn't have possibly had more than 3 items in it total.
Yeah.
For 2 nights. I was actually really impressed.
I
with
take
that.
great pride in packing
light.
extremely lightly. So yeah, and it's because, by the way, they need to be able to shove your bag in the tiny compartment on those little planes.
Makes sense.
And they can't mold it. You have a very little space, so it has to be soft.
Makes sense.
So anyway, that short layover in Paris is troubling.
Yeah.
But also, it's like an 8-hour flight to Paris and then an 8-hour flight to Kenya. The Qatar route, you go Boston to Doha to Qatar,
Which is
like
13.
14. And then there's like an hour and a half layover. And then we would have a 5-hour flight to Kenya.
It's nice, dude. And for that Doha flight, I took Qatar when I flew to Iraq, and they escort you to your connection.
Bro,
They hold the plane for you and escort you to your
a
connection.
15-hour flight in a Qsuite, because then you get to sleep for like 8 of it, and then you get to enjoy it for 7.
Yeah, yes, dude. That's like when you take a nap with Link in Zelda, and he wakes up with more hearts. You'll wake up with more energy.
I think because you know.
You should do it. Dude.
Those flights to Europe, that if you take business class, they're great because you sleep. But if it's really nice, like when we went to Lake Como last year, we flew on Emirates, and our flight was late. It was like 11 p.m. And we had a drink, but you don't want to eat dinner, and the food is amazing.
I know.
The food's amazing. And the cocktails and the wine, it's all amazing.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to like booze. You just want to sleep. You just be like, the whole point of this was to get sleep. And you wake up and you're like, here, they're giving you breakfast, and then you're there. And you don't really get to enjoy it. There's no movie watching. There's no elegance. There's no exploring. It's possible that the Qatar flight has one of those bars on the plane.
Oh, wow. Like
that you can go sit in. Yeah.
Never seen one with my eyes, with my naked eye.
Can you imagine, dude?
Listen, man, like you could chalk it up to just making sure you make it. And plus, dude, well, the one good thing for you is that I'm assuming you guys can carry on what you're bringing if it's a duffel bag, right?
We are definitely carrying everything on.
Great. So that's nice. You won't lose your bag.
Yeah.
And fuck, dude, it's a tough one.
The tricky one.
It's a tough call.
It's if I hadn't watched the stupid review on YouTube of the Q Suite, I would have no problem saying no to this. Fundamentally, from a price point, it does not make sense.
But I'm sure there are other options too, right?
Not those are the best ones.
I know it's the best,
then it starts getting, the Q Suite one was like expensive, but it wasn't so far beyond our Delta thing. It wasn't so far beyond that. Then once you start going there's like an American Airlines option that is like truly preposterous.
Like 3 connections.
Dude, even the flight we were on through Paris on Delta to go to business class from premium economy jacked it to a point where it was totally out of reach.
Yeah.
Just totally out of reach.
Hate to see it.
And I asked if we could upgrade using Delta miles, and they were like, no, you can't upgrade using miles for this flight.
Yeah, dude. So it's 1 hour, or is it like 1 hour and change?
1 hour on the dot. I called Delta. I said, is this doable? And they go, well, technically that does fulfill the minimum amount of time that we allot for people to make their connections. Then I did the research where I checked the flight number for the flight that lands that we're on, and then the one that leaves. And over the past couple of weeks or whatever, they land within the same terminal and even the same wing of the same terminal.
You hope that doesn't change.
So but dude, if we're delayed 45 minutes on our flight out of Boston, it's over.
Sometimes they account for a little this and that.
They'll wait for you?
No, but like they'll bake in a little extra time for taxiing. And so if you're like 45 minutes behind, you might still land
They
earlier.
catch up somehow?
Yeah, it's possible. Especially, I don't know.
The flight over is shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a strong tailwind.
A little current.
Yeah. By the way, isn't that a phenomenon that kind of blows your mind?
Yeah.
That is a phenomenon that blows my mind in that air travel has come so far, right? And the fact that we have these insane jets that have bars on them and beds and are super powerful and can, seat fucking 400 people or whatever. And yet they haven't figured out a way to efficiently make it so that they could burn more fuel or fly faster on the way home to make the flight there and the flight home the same amount of time.
Right.
They're like, you're just going to have to accept that it's going to take us an hour and a half longer to get you home.
That's the thing that blows my mind.
That's
how
nuts.
big the discrepancy in the time
It's
is.
huge.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Swimming upstream, baby.
Have you seen that they are building a new plane
No.
that will...
What is it?
I think it's like today's modern version of the Concorde.
Oh, wow.
And I think it'll fly at Mach, whatever.
Faster?
Mach couple or 2 or 3, I don't know.
They stopped using the Concorde,
They
right?
did.
Why?
Because I think there was an accident.
Mm.
And then I think it just wasn't, you couldn't charge enough to make up for how much the fuel was costing. It wasn't like making sense financially for them to have to sell those flights. My parents took it once.
Wow.
As a gift.
Wow.
As a gift, they were given the tickets.
Where did it go?
Flight. I think they flew over to London and then went on to Jordan.
Sick.
But I don't know that they took I think they flew to London or Paris from New York on the Concorde. And it was like 3.5 hours.
What?
Dude, it flies faster than the speed of sound.
What?
The Concorde broke the speed of sound.
Jesus, dude.
This was in the friggin' like 80s too.
It's crazy. Thing
Can't wait for
rips.
the facts from Ryan at the end of the
let's get
episode.
yeah, speaking of which, we probably are in a good spot now to do that. Yeah.
Today's episode really flew by.
Hey!
Dare I say?
Hey!
Dare I say? All right, Ryan, fire us up with some facts from Ryan.
Okay. So, back where we began, physicals. It's suggested to get your annual physical once a year.
It makes sense. Annual physical.
Health insurance
It's like the
was
Guy
rolled out in
Fieri of Guys' Day.
1929.
Would you say
Health insurance was rolled out in 1929.
interesting?
Dengue. The symptoms of this fever are the following: nausea, vomiting, rash, aches and pains, especially eye pain, and internal bleeding.
Jesus.
good.
I don't think I had that.
North
thankfully.
Island is the resort, like
Seychelles.
one you were referring to, where Clooney
North
went.
Island.
North Island. Qatar Airways business class. I caught a piece of their dining descriptions just to share with you.
Yeah, please.
They discuss, they say it like this: freshly baked bread, appetizing soups, culinary delights, delectable appetizers, and a vegan option designed with sustainability and taste at its heart.
Wow.
Wow.
Really quick pause
Look at
for a
that.
second. Dude, here's something sick. It's a dine on demand.
Wow. So you just
You can have anything you want from the menu at any point on the flight. So if you want to sleep to start, wake up later, have dinner, anything you want at any time, they will make it for you.
sick.
They make you a bed. They give you like a mattress over your lie flat seat. Bro.
What if you were to do it? Would you use a Qatar like number, or would you use a partner? And would it be? I think American and JetBlue are both partners. Would you plug in one of those?
It's a great question, and you are absolutely correct. It's JetBlue as a partner, and then I think American is as well. But the rates through American and JetBlue were higher than the rates through Qatar.
No, I know, but if you book it on Qatar, you can still plug in your partner number.
Then I would use my American.
Okay.
Almost certainly.
Okay, excellent. Ryan, sorry, continue.
And then lastly, the Guy Fieri 101 people getting married situation. That was pretty interesting. So in February 2015, that's when it happened. It was not long after his sister lost her battle with cancer. He was very close with her. And in honor of her, she was a lesbian. He officiated 101 gay weddings in Miami Beach at the same time. And the reason why they went with 101
She
was
loved
because
Dalmatians.
it drew parallels between Cruella DeVille from 101 Dalmatians
What? Literally.
and Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, who famously opposed gay marriage.
Ah.
So, pretty interesting story
Wait,
there.
Pam Bondi was supposed to be the Cruella DeVille or something?
Those are the parallels that they drew amongst.
Got it.
And that's why they
very,
did it.
Very strange.
very clever. So it's like an
Connecting
activist group wedding.
Yeah.
Very cool. Guy, you're a fucking guy.
Hey, Guy, if you're listening to this, we would be honored to have you at International Guys Day, which we are still building.
By the way, yeah, anybody who's hearing us say that, don't worry. We are nowhere near planning International Guys Day yet. We would like to do it someday.
Yeah, we'd like to do it.
Pipe dream for now, but I've heard people message throwing their hats in the ring. No need for hat throwing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we will sound the alarm when the time is ready.
That's right. IGD.
All right, what's up, bro? What do you got coming up?
Let's see. I have, well, obviously, honeymoon, wedding, all that stuff, pretty big. But then I'm going to be in Greenville and Charlotte, North Carolina. I think that's September 29th, 30th, 31st. The Comedy Zone. Get tickets for that at francisellis.com. You'll see it.
Awesome. I'm in September, October, November in this order. New York in September is going to be a big show. It's going to be a lot of fun. More details to come. And then October 20th in North Carolina. November 12th in Ann Arbor, I believe, on my website, notjulio.com. Check it out.